Hi lovelies. Today I'm going to talk about something that just seems like a lot of fun for me, and I hope that you enjoyed the process as much as I do. I have been really fascinated by the idea of creating a capsule wardrobe and building a closet of clothes that I really like and that feel really nice. And I know that I'm in a place of privilege to be able to do that. And actually, for the majority of my life, I didn't really pay attention to style or fashion. I felt like it was, I don't know, superficial and silly, and I just didn't give it that much attention. I also was very overweight growing up, and so I don't think I really ever learned how to flatter my body and find things that felt good and looked good on me. But in the last couple of years, I've given that more attention, especially because I do a lot of acting on the side, and personal brand and personal look is so important. In addition to the social benefits and the professional benefits of looking your best and feeling your best, I learned from one of my favorite bloggers, her name is Mary Lofgren, that pleasure and beauty are beautiful antidotes to sadness and anxiety. Just focusing on creating beauty, those are important things. Beauty is not frivolous. So anyway, I follow a couple of bloggers. One in particular I actually went to high school with. We weren't really friends then, but her name is Audrey à la mode. That's her YouTube channel. I'll link to it below. And she talks a lot about creating a capsule wardrobe, and she just has the most amazing capsule wardrobe. And she's very intentional about the things she wears and the pieces, and I just am so seduced by that. And one of the things I saw her mention was something called the Kibbe Body Test. Now, I had never heard of this, but the moment I saw those words, I was like, I must know what that is. And so I looked it up, and actually it's a little bit confusing, but it's a body styling test created by a stylist named David Kibbe. That's literally all I know about him, sorry. But basically, I think there is a range of, I need to read more about this. So David Kibbe is a personal stylist who wrote a book in the 1980s called Metamorphosis, and it was a body typing system that I guess he invented. That book is now out of print, but there are tons of people online who are really fanatical about this body typing system and all of the things that it offers to women, specifically a language or a way to frame what you look like, and then how to emphasize it and choose clothes that fit into that type. There are 13 different body types, and they are determined based on the spectrum between yin and yang, so female energy and masculine energy. One thing that I immediately noticed that I really liked about the Kibbe body typing system is that there are 13 different body types. That's a lot. And I find that some of the traditional body typing systems, not that I know a lot about them, but what I've seen, there's always just a couple of templates, like there's like hourglass, apple, pear, you know? The other thing I really like about it is that it's about embracing your natural body type and finding ways to love and emphasize like all the delicious gifts that you have. Because one of the things that I read in Audrey's blog, when you're building a capsule wardrobe and you're building your beautiful intentional wardrobe, what's your vibe? What's your style? What's your color palette? Those are things that I just feel completely lost when I think about. So I'm hoping that by the end of this video, you and I will both know what our body types are according to David Kibbe, and I will take you through the process of me just kind of looking at myself and figuring out what I am, but I'll also share a lot of the resources and quizzes that I've taken online so that you can take it along with me. Let's see what happens. Let's get started. Okay, so I had a little bit of a tricky time figuring out how to film this, and I decided to use my living room and my mirror. So ideally, when you do this, you will be wearing something form-fitting and pretty tight, like a bathing suit or your undergarments. Obviously, I did not want to do that for this video, not that kind of video. But basically, Cozy Rebecca in her blog says that the very first question that you should consider when you're looking at yourself is, how tall do you look? Not how tall are you actually, but how tall you look like you are based on how big your head is compared to the rest of your body. And here I eventually figured that I look slightly tall. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the quiz that I took on Cozy Rebecca's blog, and I highly recommend that you separate your answers based on section. So this first section is all about your bone structure. And then you're going to put the number of the question next to the letter of your answer. So for me, I would put 1B. And the reason I say this is because Cozy Rebecca on her website, as a pro tip, will actually help you identify your results if you end up getting stuck and you can't really figure out which type you are. So keep your answers clean and organized on a sheet of paper. Our next question is to determine how your shoulders look compared to the rest of your body. She has a couple of answers. I had originally chosen beveled and broad, but now that I'm looking at this a little bit more objectively, I actually think that I am C. So go ahead and evaluate that and write it down. Okay, cutie, so next question is, how long do your arms look? Excuse me while I lift my dress up and check it compared to my thigh. I had looked at another question on another site that said, where do your arms fall? So that's what I was checking. But this is just really how your arms appear. I had originally put neither long nor short, but looking at this again, I think my arms look pretty long. So I'm going to change my answer. Let's see what you've got. Here you're going to take a look at how long your legs look compared to the rest of your body. And again, ignore the flesh on your body, just really look at your bone structure. I didn't answer this question because I accidentally took an older version of her test, but this is the 2020 version. So looking at this, I'm going to evaluate C, neither long nor short. All right, these next two questions we're going to do together as a pair. So for the first one, what best describes the shape of your hands? And you can just look at them compared to the rest of your body. And then the second question is, what best describes the shape of your feet? So for the first one, based on looking at my hands, I put not noticeably long or short, evenly proportioned, but I do have pretty big feet and they're quite wide. So I will choose B for question number 6. All right, now moving along to the next question. What best describes the shape of your torso? For me, I am going to choose E, short and slightly wide. My torso is not very long and it is pretty wide. Here you're going to identify the shape of your hips. Yes, it involves the flesh, but it's also the shape of your hip bones. I know this is a tricky one, and it's definitely tricky to do at clothed, but based on my instinct, I am going to give myself an E. I feel like my hips are pretty wide, they're definitely soft, and they're not super long. Yay, we made it to the next section. Now we're at facial bones. So now we're going to really just look at the structure of your face, like we just looked at the structure of your body. And you really want to just look at the shape of your jawline and your chin. For this answer, I'm going to put neither very sharp nor very rounded. Answer C. All right, mi bonita. Now we're going to look at the shape of your nose. I struggled with this one, and Cozy Rebecca offers a really great tip of looking at your nose in the front view and at the profile. And looking at this video, I can see that my nose is kind of neither sharp nor rounded. It's not very small or wide. So I'm going to give it a C. All right, gorgeous. Now we're going to look at your cheekbones. Ignore the shape of your cheeks. Don't think about the flesh. Again, we are doing the bone structure of your face. So you might want to palpate the area, which I had to do. I felt not very confident in my answer here. One thing that really helped is I searched celebrities on Cozy Rebecca's website for cheek examples, but I ended up going with C. Yay, we've made it to the next section. We're now 75% through. We're now looking at the flesh of the body. I love this section because it's so self-explanatory. You can see I spent not even 5 seconds because this is about your bust. And I know for me, mine are widely spaced and not very prominent. So I'm B. Now we're going to look at your beautiful, strong arms. Rebecca says that if you carry a lot of weight on your arms, you might be tempted to just choose B or E, but she says to really look at the shape of the flesh, if it's rounded or straight, and really do look at the flesh in proportion to the rest of your body. I have very soft arms and a lot of flesh there, so that one was really easy for me. I'm absolutely E, soft and wide. All right, Queen, now we're going to move forward to your juicy, juicy thighs. How would you describe the flesh on your thighs? I didn't even record a video on this unknowingly because I just immediately answered. I also have very fleshy thighs, but again, just like your arms, don't jump to that conclusion without looking at the shape and in proportion to the rest of your body. Yay, we're on the last section. We've made it so far together. Now we're going to just look at your facial features. So in this question, we're going to look at the shape of your beautiful eyes. Here, I gave myself a C, not very rounded or straight, not noticeably large or small. I tend to get a lot of C's from my face. I'm curious if you see any patterns, but we are just hitting the home stretch now. Now, looking at your lips, what do you think best describes the shape of them? Look at these answers and see which one makes most sense. For me, as you can see, my lips are very full and rounded, so I'm going to go with E. Yes, we're on the last question. What describes the flesh on your yummy cheeks? For me, I was a little confused on this one, and I didn't take Rebecca's advice and smile for the camera. I think I'm either a C or an E, but I'm going to go with C for now. Yay, we did it! Here is where you're going to interpret your test results. As I said, if you kept your data really clean, you can put it here as a comment to Cozy Rebecca's blog, and she will help you decode your answers if you're confused, because it can get a little confusing if you end up being a subtype, which most people will be subtypes. So if you get mostly one type of answer, then that will determine which group you're in. But then if you have some other letters, then you will fall into a subtype. As I did, I fell into a soft classic. And if you really want to decode this even more, which I will link to this link below, you can look and see how Rebecca has categorized celebrities that we know and love, and see which one fits into your type. And this is just a really good resource for you because you can study their wardrobe, the way they do their hair, their makeup, and that can inform you when you are building out your own personal style and your own wardrobe. It's a lot of fun to look through this page, so I highly recommend it. It looks like, based on the way I interpreted the numbers and the way that she explains each body type, I think I have a soft classic body type. Now, the resource that I really highly depended on for this whole video was a blog called cozyrebecca.com. I'll link to it below. And she's amazing. She's really spent a lot of time explaining the variations in the test results, how to determine what kind of features you have. And more importantly, and the thing that I love the most, is that she actually created Pinterest boards with styles based on each body type. What's most exciting to me about these results is that this is a test that I took on my own in maybe, 30 minutes to an hour of my own time and study. But they very closely match the advice that I got when I worked with a celebrity stylist named Tara Swennen. She spent 20 minutes with me and gave me guidance on what I should wear, what I shouldn't wear, what colors to really use to make my face pop, what kind of jewelry. And a lot of the things she told me very much matched the soft classic type. And I actually found her on a website called glamhive.com. And I had used some kind of promo code to get a free session with her. But the cool thing that I found about Glamhive is it's a collection of personal stylists, and there's different tiers. So you can work with celebrity stylists, or you can work with Instagram stylists, or you can work with more amateur ones. And they will spend some time with you and determine what things would look good on you and what to wear. And what was really cool about Tara is that I gave her, 3 or 4 pictures, and just looking at those 3 or 4 pictures, she gave me so much advice. So anyway, I hope you had fun doing this with me. I certainly enjoyed it. I feel like I'm armed with a lot more information now about what I can do and what kinds of things I can buy for my type. I would love to know what your type is. So if you're watching this video, please comment below with your body type and any clothing inspiration or celebrity inspiration that you found from this body type. I'm going to definitely explore a little bit more into the soft classic, and I will link to all the resources that I used below, and I hope that you have a really good time doing this with me.